What's up, people? Welcome to the Boom Boom Room, man. I'm your host. You back in here again. I'm your host, Ron Slay. Listen, man, I got a very special guest. The roots in Tennessee are deeper than just Knoxville. Graduate of Fisk, went to Fisk, put up numbers at Fisk, then went on and did other things, but he left an impact here in the city, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be an interesting interview. We're going to get to that. Went on to coach at Buffalo. Believe we got to start there, but I'm going to let him fill you in. It ain't my job to fill you in. This is his time to tell the story. We'll get some questions in towards the end, but this is a conversation that's unfiltered in the Boom Boom Room, and it happens organically. You know what I'm saying, people? So we switched the areas today. We're not in the original Boom Boom Room. We in the cave. You know what I mean? We're in the cave via the Boom Boom Room. So, people, bear with us. You know, this is a new adventure for us in here. It's a lot of Pittsburgh gear and stuff. You know what I mean? So that's in the blood also. We got a little yellow and black. Got a little red and black back there, as you see on the wall. You know, but the orange and white, it busts through. You know, but this is it, people. This is it, man. Without further ado, let me bring my guy on, and if you don't know who it is, if you do not know who it is, let me bring you in and let me give you a little taste of the promo video in case you missed it. This is who we got coming up.
Well, I mean, being from Detroit, Michigan, an urban area, I was brought up with not a lot of things. I had to work and strive for, what I attained. To be able to be one of the first people in my family to graduate from college, to be able to have an opportunity like this is most gratifying. So to be coaching collegiately for 19 years right now is something that I'm very proud to have on my resume, and hopefully I can continue being successful.
Man, without further ado, man, and I don't even know how I introduced him and got into Fisk and all that without even saying this man from the D. I don't even know. That's me. That's my fault. Because I would have been hot if somebody introduced me and then say Cashville/Nashville and everything that come in between. From the dirty D, from Detroit. You know what I mean? Motown. People, we got the one and only Tony Jones. Tony, how you doing, man? Appreciate you coming in.
I'm doing great, Ron. It's good to see you. Good to see your brother that was helping you out with the technical difficulties that you had earlier. Ramon Foster, two big Tennessee Volunteers, Vows for Life, and obviously Ramon went on and had a stellar career with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right. But I'm with Ron Slay.
Most definitely.
Bow thy head when you say thy name.
There it is, man. I appreciate you. We're going to jump straight into it, man. Let's talk about the people that first influenced you. Your family background. Get into you not being the only child, your brothers having successful careers ahead of you and everything. Talk about a little bit of the dynamic of that, growing up with those brothers, and then the people that influenced you.
Well, you know what? I got four siblings that's just unbelievable. I got two brothers and two sisters. Obviously, my younger brother, Bill Jones, was a stellar player at Detroit Southwestern High School, went on to Iowa, had a really good career, played for the New Jersey Nets for a couple years, and then went on to play overseas for 10. So just that camaraderie of our family, the togetherness, really helped me get to where I'm at today. Right. I'm the second youngest. My brother is the youngest, so we looked upon my brother Daryl and my sisters Sheila and Pam to kind of steer the way. Right. But the lead people was my father and my mom, right. Clarence and Christine Jones. They guided us in the right way. We knew what was right. We knew what was wrong. And they instilled the proper values in us. And then I went on to high school and had a number of mentors, Coach Joe Hoskins, right. Perry Watson, longtime Detroit Southwestern coach, went on to coach at Michigan and was the head coach at the University of Detroit. Those type of people that I kind of followed to begin my career.
So with that coming out of Detroit, you were able to go to Southwestern.
Right.
Had some good numbers at Southwestern and put up following behind who? Was that ideally where you were going, or were you thinking about going private route, or it was always public school and or nothing?
Always going to public school. That's what, everyone in our close-knit community. It's called Southwest Detroit.
Right.
It's a close-knit community. We had success in football and in basketball. We had won a state championship back in the mid-'70s.
Right.
Had stellar players. A couple of them went on. Well, one of them went on to play in the NBA. Tony Robertson went on to play with the Atlanta Hawks and the Golden State Warriors. So, I kind of looked up to Tony. But it was public school league. It was a tough league. Sometimes you had to fight to get out of the gyms,
right.
After a contest.
Right.
But it built character and it built toughness. And I took that on down to Nashville, to Fisk University, where I had a really good career under Coach Lawson and Coach Pruitt.
Right. Talk about that move from Detroit to Nashville, especially at that time, early '80s. Coming from a fast city like Detroit, coming to Nashville, where for the viewers, it wasn't Nashville that you recognize now today. You know what I'm saying? But it was, in a sense, going to Fisk and being on Jefferson Street. It was kind of a Black Wall Street in a sense going on along that street. But tell me about the culture shock, if it was any, when you got to Fisk.
Not too much of a culture shock, just the different lingo. A little bit more country.
Right, most definitely. Most definitely.
The thing I can say about Nashville is it's a special place. Very special. You alluded to Jefferson Street, and we all remember Jefferson Street Joe, the former Pittsburgh Steeler, quarterback, Tennessee State, obviously. It was right down the street from Fisk. We used to kind of go occupy each other's campuses and things of that nature. But it was so much fun, and I can say this without hesitation. It was probably the best time of my life, being at Fisk University and just getting the culture of Tennessee in my blood.
Right.
And who would have thunk it, years later, that I would be in Knoxville at the University of Tennessee and making Knoxville my home.
Right. You'll be right back there. But before we even get there, you had the opportunity. You had a very successful career at Fisk. You got the opportunity to go back and coach at your former high school.
Right.
And not only coach there, but have an impact on some very well notable guys that came out of there. With the guys Jalen Rose, Howard Isley, was it Vashawn Leonard?
Vashawn Leonard.
Talk about being able to go back and coach that talent as a guy that left an impact there, went away, and came back and helped cultivate something different.
Well, you know what? It was something, Ron, to be able to to go away to college and then come back to your home, work for the Detroit Public Schools.
Right.
I did a lot of odd jobs. Then I had the opportunity to get asked to coach under the legendary coach Perry Watson.
Right.
He brought me under his tutelage at Southwestern High School. He allowed me to be his junior varsity coach and his assistant. And during that time, we had unparalleled success. I mean, we went to 7 state championship games in a row.
That's tough.
7. That's kind of unheard of.
Yeah.
7 state championship games
tough.
in a row. We were able to win a number of city championships, and obviously you alluded to some of the guys that I coached, future NBA stars such as Jalen Rose and Howard Isley and Vashawn Leonard. Also Coach Anderson Hunt, who was the most valuable player in the in the national championship game when
Yeah.
UNLV beat Duke. And
I didn't know that, man. Shooter, boy.
yeah,
Hey, boy. Let me before you go any further, because we just talking in the boom boom room. Coach Tony
right.
Jones, man. Listen, man. I loved Arkansas. Do you hear me? Like that was. If they would have told me as a sophomore,
No, UNLV.
I mean UNLV. If they would have told me as a sophomore, hey man, we got something on the table for you. Come on and sign. I would have signed immediately. I'm like, dude, Greg, that backcourt was so because you had stars like Larry Johnson, Stacey Augmon. You know, they were overshadowed a little bit, man. But those guys, woo, those guys were special, man.
George Eccles, Hunt, and Greg Anthony in the backcourt. You know, it was interesting. They were playing Michigan State University at the Palace, and we had a game on Friday, and they were playing Michigan State the next day.
Yeah.
And Jerry Tarkanian let his whole team come to our high school game, and you should have seen the fans just gravitating towards those guys, asking for autographs.
Right.
And obviously Anderson Hunt was a homegrown product. Right. We were so proud of him and so proud of what he accomplished with the Running Rebels.
That's big time, man. I had no idea you coached him. I got to do my homework, man. Got to do my homework. Hey, that's big. So before we go further, did you know you wanted to get into coaching before you got the opportunity? Because I know a lot of players that have success like you did in college, it's a transition period, and you're trying to find yourself. So what made you know that, I'm going to dive into coaching and take this path?
You know what? I didn't, Ron, to be honest with you. You know, I got my degree in healthcare administration. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be a director of a hospital, whether it was an ambulatory care facility, outpatient facility, or just a normal medical center. Right. I wanted to do that. I had inklings of going to law school and maybe being an FBI agent. All of those things kind of came into my head. Right. You know, when you're wondering, what you're going to do with the rest of your life as far as being able to make a living. Mm-hmm. I went up to, this is an interesting story. I went up to my former middle school, Boynton Middle School, Boynton Junior High School, and my former gym teacher, Teddy Gray. Okay. He was coaching the 8th grade team, but he got tired of it. And I just happened to just go up there. You know how you do when you come back. You go up to your middle schools, you go to your high school to visit your old teachers. Right. And Coach Gray said, hey, Tone, why don't you do me a favor? I'm about tired of coaching this 8th grade team. Would you coach it for me? And I was like, wow. I was like, that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So I did it. I had a level of success. Obviously, this middle school I went to was the feeder school for Southwestern High School. Wow. Coach Watson saw me coaching the middle school. He said, you should be coaching in high school, man. Right. And he offered me a job to join the staff. And that's where it began. And it just grew in my blood. I went to summer camps all the time. I got an opportunity to meet Isaiah Thomas when he was a member of the Detroit Pistons. Got friends with him. Right. Helped run his basketball camp, and it was on and popping from there. Right.
That's huge, man. And you rarely get an opportunity, man, to walk back into a situation like that. So. That was big.
I was blessed and very fortunate.
Without a doubt, man. And we'll talk. We'll hit on that a little later. I want to ask you about how difficult it is to get into the game as an African American coach. You know what I mean? Right. And not be looked at as a coach. This is a coach we talking to, Tony Jones, man, with 20 plus years. You know what I'm saying, in the game. So how would you tell a younger guy to, that's floating in limbo, and how he would get in the game? But we'll touch on that. We'll touch on that towards the end. So. Okay. You got with your high school. Y'all went to 7 state championships. Then you also did a little AAU.
Did a little AAU. Mm-hmm. Was fortunate enough to coach those guys in the AAU. I had most of the guys on my high school team, and Jalen and Howard Isley, Bashan Leonard, KMIU Alexander, Mike Hamilton. And the list goes on and on.
Right.
I mean, and I was able during my AAU career to go 35-1. Won 2 AAU state championships, and that kind of gave me the mindset that I knew that I wanted to be a head coach at the collegiate level someday, even while I was just in high school. And then, hey, the opportunity came along to get into college coaching, and I ran with it.
And you get into college coaching at University of Buffalo? University of
Buffalo back in 1993. Tim Cohane was the head coach. He was a former assistant with Jimmy O'Brien at Boston College. Jimmy O'Brien coached Howard Isley. And I helped Jimmy O'Brien get Howard Isley. So you see how those relationships work.
It's big.
So Jimmy told Tim, "You got to hire this guy."
Right.
And hey, I didn't have any collegiate coaching experience, and he hired me as a full-time assistant right away. Spent 3 very productive and learning years at the University of Buffalo before I got the opportunity to move on to the University of Toledo with Stan Joplin, formerly associate head coach at Michigan State.
And man, that's important, man. To the viewers, you're in the Boom Boom Room with Ron Slay, your host, and Coach Tony Jones. But that's important, man, because we had an opportunity to talk on my show with Rob Lanier, and he talked about how he got a break like that, and that all dated back to relationships and somebody taking a chance on you. And I don't know if that happens today like it did at that time, but I think it's a lot more favors for favors at this point. But at that time, man, it was relationships and the people that you knew and knew you coming up and trusted you. And I think that's a blessing also. So that's big time. Yeah. You get and now you take off. You take off and leave Buffalo, and then you go to Toledo. What was that experience like?
It was a great experience. I had an opportunity to go to either University of Toledo as an assistant or Miami of Ohio as an assistant.
Oh, wow.
Charlie Coles, who is another mentor of mine, who was a longtime coach at Miami of Ohio, he coached Wally Zerbiak.
Right.
He coached, I forget the other guy that played in the NBA for a number of years that he coached. But I had the opportunity to go to either one of those schools. I picked Toledo because it was 50 miles from Detroit.
Right.
Miami of Ohio was 4.5 hours away, and it was a smaller town.
Right.
And I just didn't, want to take my family to that area back in that time. So I chose Toledo. Had a great 5 years at the University of Toledo. We never got to the NCAA tournament, but we did win 3 MAC West Division championships. We got to 2 NITs, won a couple NIT games. Had the opportunity to coach future NBA player Casey Shaw, who played with the Philadelphia 76ers, and he was an assistant at Vanderbilt.
Yes, he was.
Under his brother-in-law, Bryce Drew.
Yep. Hey, man, it's a small world, man. Hey, let me tell you this, man. And I remember this, man, because, as a player, you remember things vividly, especially when you step away from the game. My second dunk ever on somebody professionally was against Casey Shaw. I got a picture in my Boom Boom Room hanging up of me dunking on Casey Shaw, and he gonna kill me for that. But that's my guy, man. One of the greatest dudes, man, that you will meet, man. I mean, God, so humble and everything, man.
Great guy. His wife was an unbelievable player.
Really?
Dana.
Okay.
Dana was just an unbelievable player, and now Casey is out out in I think he's at Utah, in Utah with his brother-in-law Bryce. Okay. So spent those 5 years at University of Toledo. Then I had an opportunity to get summons with a guy that I had a relationship with for a number of years, Bruce Pearl.
Right.
He had coached my brother Well, my brother was a player at the University of Iowa. He was an assistant under Tom Davis.
Didn't know that.
And they had a great run.
Right.
That team almost got to the Final Four. They had 8 NBA players, led by B.J. Armstrong and Roy Marble, Brad Lohaus, Kevin Gamble, my brother Ed Horton. A number of those guys played in the NBA. So Bruce got the head coaching job at UWM, the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and he said, "Hey, man, you got to come with me." So I had to go because we had the same philosophy of how to play the game, to get after people, to play 94 feet on the defensive end, to shoot threes, and just to have fun out there on the basketball floor. So I went there with him, and we were successful. We won 4 championships in 4 years.
Yes, I were.
We went to 2 NCAA tournaments, 1 NIT, and we went to the Sweet 16 and beaten Alabama in the first round, and then beaten a top 10 team in Boston College in the second round before having an opportunity to play the number 1 team, University of Illinois, before losing to them. So it was a great 4 years at Milwaukee. Then we got the call. We got the call from the big boys. They said, you guys have proven that you can coach this game at a high level. You no longer need to be at the mid-major level. The University of Tennessee came calling, and then we went.
And before we jump into that, I know you, Tony, and you're a realist, man. And I want to know, what was that call like? Were you smiling ear to ear like, we there? You know what I mean? We there. Because I know leading up to that, man, y'all screwed my bracket. I definitely was betting against y'all, you know, and I always got to see I got to see my guy who I became good friends with, Clay Tucker. Clay could go, man. Clay could go, and you know, y'all messed my bracket up. And the big boy y'all had that was undersized, but the big boy going to work, that could pass, had good hands, heavy set guy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I was like, hey, man, these cats, man, what is Tennessee trying to get them for, man? What was your mind frame when you got that call, though?
Well, let me take a step back, Ryan, and give you a little bit more insight on it. You know, after we lost to Illinois in a very competitive game, the next day, Bruce got offered the Tennessee job, and I was the associate head coach at Milwaukee. And something inside of me wanted to be a head coach right then. So I went to the athletic director, and Bruce went to the athletic director. Is Tony going to be considered for this job? And the athletic director, Bud Haiti at UWM, said, you know, he's definitely going to be in the mix. We want to interview him. We're going to open it up. We're going to interview some other people, and let's see how it goes. Bruce and me, we huddled up, and he was like, you know what? Let's go to Tennessee. Hey. Later for UWM, later for Milwaukee. If they don't want to name you the head coach tomorrow, let's go to Tennessee. I'm going to pay you a boatload of money. Let's do something special there. They say it's a cavernous arena, that we can't feel it. They say that the Lady Vols is the thing, and football is the thing. Let's put Tennessee basketball on the map. You with me? And you know the motivator Bruce is.
I already know.
I was ready to run through a brick wall.
I was going to say, and the competitor that you are, you most definitely forget that. Let's get to it.
So they offered him the job, and the next day, and then the next day after that, we were on a private plane, Mr. Haslam's private plane. The owner of the Cleveland Browns, we was on his private plane heading to Knoxville to be introduced as the next coaching staff at the University of Tennessee.
Big time, man. And y'all came in, boy, like a fresh air gust of wind, man. And you came in not really loaded, you know, but y'all had some pieces to work with. Had pieces to work with. Obviously, we had a point guard, which was essential to have success
at any level.
Right.
And we had C.J. Watson.
Right.
C.J. Watson from Las Vegas was a senior. He had played relatively well, but he kind of underachieved his 3 years under Coach Peterson.
Yes, he did.
And our style lended to his talent level. And also we had Chris Lofton, who obviously became one of the best shooters in the SEC history.
Right.
We had Major Wingate. We had Andre Patterson, who was a former top 25 player. We had Dane Bradshaw.
Yep.
We had pieces.
Yes, I did.
And that first year, no one expected anything out of us. And we went on to win the SEC East.
Yep.
We beat Florida twice.
Yeah. And
we got the number 2 seed in the NCAA tournament our first year up on the hill.
Big time, man. I'm talking about, boy, a whole new gust of fresh air came through there, man. And I remember it. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was talking to, I interviewed Chris 2 weeks ago. I just haven't aired it yet, but we were talking about you, and I said, give me a memory of Tony Jones. He said, man, I don't know if you remember this, but I remember somebody had got a technical foul, and somebody else went up to shoot, and he told me, hey, explicit, if you don't go up there and shoot that tech, don't never let nobody else shoot the technical foul, man. This is for you. You know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? He said he cussed me out plenty of times other than that, but you know what I mean? He was like, I love that dude. So Chris Lofton speaks in you in high regard, man, and so does CJ. So those are guys that I was really close with. So after that year, talk to me.
Well, I mean, when we first got up there, Ron, I mean, you came up there, you know, you were playing overseas, putting up numbers.
Right.
Obviously, you was the 2003 SEC Most Valuable Player.
Right.
And you came up there and you would play with our players. And they really appreciated that. They really appreciated how tough you were on them.
Right.
I mean, you were playing. You were playing street ball with them.
Without a doubt.
Physical with them. You put them in position that they would have to be in to be successful in the SEC. Right. So me and Bruce even talked about that, how we commended you on coming back and being involved for life, being a VFL, to come back and help tutor those young guys. And obviously your mom, she played a big role in that. That's my girl.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Unbelievable lady.
She said to tell you hello, too. Yeah.
So that was very important for us to get off to a good start. And then after that, it was all good.
Oh, it was rolling. It was rolling. That speaks to you guys too, man, in volumes. Being able to allow guys to come back, because coaches after you guys the doors wasn't as open. You know what I'm saying? Like it was when you guys were there. And I know there's a couple of guys I could name, but I know that they came back and they were like, man, hey, man, how you getting to go back to school, this, that, and the other, man? These guys ain't signing off. I was like, hey, man, I'm up there all the time, though. Y'all coming up there, and it's a different coaching regime. You know what I mean? This opened up a little bit more with Coach Barnes and those guys. But before that, man, it was a little difficult, you know. And then, you know, they ran Conzo on them out. But that's a whole different situation, you know what I mean? So talk about the run that you guys went on. Give me a specific time. I really want to talk about when you guys reached number 1, which hadn't been done.
Oh my goodness!
And that was
the next year. The next year, it was the next year we went on to the NCAA tournament again. That was year 2, but year 3, the year that you're alluding to, 2008, was a stellar year for us. It was something that brought the state of Tennessee's basketball on the map. You're originally from Memphis. You know, West Tennessee basketball is huge. Yeah. And in 2008, it was a stellar game between Memphis University with John Calipari and Derrick Rose and
Chris Douglas Roberts. They were just as loaded. Yeah.
Just as loaded. Yeah. And we had Chris Lofton, we had Tyler Smith, we had the Smith boys, Tyler Smith, Ramar Smith, and Juwan Smith.
Yes, sir.
and it was a dog fight. It
Right.
was 1 versus 2, and to this day, that's still the #1 watch game on ESPN.
Right.
To this day.
That's tough.
And we were able to go into Memphis into a hostile environment.
Very hostile.
It was an NCAA Final Four environment.
Yeah.
And we went in there and won that game.
Without a doubt.
It's interesting, Ron, and I can allude back to how, that team was tough and you helped bring toughness to the program.
Right.
When we were coming out, for the introductions, coming out of the locker room at Memphis, they come out from one end and you come out from the other, and you meet together.
Right.
Joey Dorsey.
Yes, sir.
Joey Dorsey. I'll never forget him. Big, strong guy, playing in the NBA, tough guy.
Mm-hmm.
He told our players as we was getting together, he said, "Hey man, we ain't going out here to play no game. The game is off. We about to fight right now in here, right here." So what he tried to do is he tried to intimidate.
Yeah, he wanted to do the punk. He wanted to punk you.
The players and Tyler Smith, Ramar Smith from Detroit, Michigan, and Jawan from McMinn.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They wasn't having it.
No.
They said, let's go. And then the security broke us up. We went out there and competed like the Tennessee Vols.
Exactly.
Knew we could. And we went out there and we took them to the woodshed.
Yes,
we
you
won
did.
the game.
Yeah.
And the University of Tennessee was the #1 team in the country.
Man.
Something that I'll never forget and something I'm very proud of.
That was beautiful, man. I'm talking about that. I stayed up all night overseas watching that game. I get to practice. I ain't tired of nothing. I'm just running off straight adrenaline, man. That was beautiful. You know what I mean? I was loving it, man. And couldn't have been happier for you guys, man. So getting ready to do that. Y'all go through making Elite Eight appearance. Great success. Great success in Tennessee. Then you get hit where they tried to bury everybody. The NCAA.
In 2010, we went to the Elite Eight.
Mm-hmm.
We were. It was a special time. We beat a good Butler team. We beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
And then we had the opportunity to play against a tournament-rich history team in Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
In St. Louis. Just an unbelievable environment, unbelievable atmosphere. We punched, we counterpunched, we took punches, we gave punches, and it came down to the last 8 seconds of the basketball game. Scotty Hobson got fouled.
Yep.
He went to the free throw line. We were down 1. He made the first free throw, and he missed the second one.
Yep.
And then, obviously we had our two bigs in the 2-hole to, if it was a miss, to get an offensive rebound.
Right.
The rebound kind of scurried out to the corner. They got the defensive rebound. They pitched it out and pushed it up the floor. And eventually one of their players got fouled.
Right.
It's no doubt in none of our mind, if Scotty makes that second free throw, we set our defense, and they don't score
at all
on that with 8 seconds to go, and we're in the Final Four. But It is what it is. It happened, but it was still a proud moment in University of Tennessee basketball. And then after that, some unfortunate things happened. 2011.
Right.
Where the NCAA came in to investigate a barbecue that Coach Pearl had at his home. Some things were done incorrectly in interviews, and we were dismissed from the university. It was a sad time I know a lot of the Vol faithful. It was a sad time for us as a coaching staff. But we're still proud of our accomplishments. We're still an era that's second to none in the University of Tennessee basketball lores.
Without a doubt, man. And as a former player, as a fan of you guys, man, I think up till maybe 2 years ago, they were still signing petitions trying to get y'all back. Like that era, man. That era could. And I'm gonna be honest, they have some very good things going on at the University of Tennessee right now.
Right.
But I never think that era can be duplicated ever. Like I thought I thought we did some really good things, and we did. But
Yeah,
we were
well,
rocking.
I mean, you guys were good. I mean, you were with Vincent Yarborough, and
Yeah.
you with Marcus Hayes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah.
energy y'all brought, Tony, that throughout the city, like we had it, but y'all took it up. Y'all did exactly what you're supposed to do when you go to a program. You leave it better than it was when you got there. You know what I mean? So, man, I commend y'all on that.
It was unfortunate circumstances. Bruce got suspended.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got ascended to the head coaching position, where I was the interim head coach for 8 games, and I was the most scrutinized person in the state of Tennessee for about a month and a half. But I knew, learning from Bruce, learning from Tom Davis, learning from George Raveling, guys that I looked up to, I knew that the moment wasn't too big for me, and we kept a level of success. I won 5 straight SEC games, and I'm proud of that fact also.
And I wanted to touch on that, man, because you didn't get to think about this or mull over the decision of it. You got thrust into that position, and you embraced it. You know what I mean? Not only did you win 5 straight, I think you maybe only lost 2. But other than that, and when I say embrace it, you embrace the moment of it. Very seldom do you see a guy being willing to wear that orange coat, as Coach Mears did. You walked out in the orange coat, got a dub in it, and handled business. Like, not everybody not successful with that on. So I love you embracing that, man. Like, when you got called upon to do that as an interim head coach, what were your thoughts on that? Were you like, I know definitely you're ready for it because you're a competitor, but what was it like, man? Because it's a little different sitting in that seat over.
Yeah, I knew I was ready for the situation, and the first and foremost, we were always prepared, and the players respected me, and I knew that when I moved over a seat, they would listen to me as though I was Bruce Pearl, and that's what they did. Obviously, I had some good players. Tobias Harris is playing in the NBA right now. Scotty Hobson was on that team, and Bobby Mays, those guys. We had a really good basketball team. It was a situation where I was thrust in a role of a lot of pressure, especially losing the first game against Arkansas. And then coming back and then losing another one to Florida. And then after that, we won all the games, and I was lauded as not just a recruiter. I was lauded as a guy that could coach the game of basketball. And that's something that no one had to tell me or no one had to write about. I knew I could do it.
And so you did a great job, man, of being an interim head coach. So you guys leave and you take that same success back to high school. Like that. Now you had some talent.
You know what? You obviously it's your job and you're doing it very well. You did your background, but you should be my agent. I'd be like Steve Forbes right now.
Hey, Tony, listen, man. One thing for sure, I ain't never had a problem selling anything, man. I can sell it all, baby. Castle in the sky, we can get it done.
Yeah, I mean, you know what, Ron? I had fun at Alcoa High School. I was fortunate enough to get a head coaching job, still in the Knoxville area, at Alcoa High School. And I was blessed with good players. My first year, I went 30-5, and got all the way to the state semifinals before Memphis Mitchell had a little bit too much speed and athleticism for my guys, and they beat us. But I wouldn't change a thing. I had a great time being a teacher. I taught lifetime wellness. I taught physical education. Those students to this day still are following me on Facebook,
Right.
follow me on Twitter.
Right.
And when I get the opportunity to go to Knoxville, that I do on a lot of occasions, I get the opportunity to see some of those players and some of those students, and those relationships has been long lasting.
And forever will be, man. And forever will be. That was an impact, and I know for sure, man. Like y'all wasn't expected to make it to no state. I'm gonna be real. You ain't got to say it because you were the coach. I'm gonna tell you what's real. Y'all wasn't expected, but you did that. You also got a coach of the year up under your belt. You know what I mean? That's big time.
Yeah, I got the Prep Extra AP Prep Extra Coach of the Year in the state, and that trophy sits at in Knoxville along with that orange jacket.
Yeah,
This jacket is hanging up in a frame, and it'll never be worn again.
Beautiful.
But I was fortunate enough to be blessed with that award, but it all goes to the players. All the success goes to the players. I had about 50 to 60 set plays that they all had to know and learn and know, and they did that, and they played hard. I challenged them, and I won't forget those young men at Alcoa High School.
Right, nothing like that, man. Having an impact on kids' lives. And you get the opportunity to go to Auburn with Bruce. Y'all team back up and go to Auburn. What was that? What was that call like?
Bruce was working at H.G. Hackney, I think H.T. Hackney, a firm there, and I was still in Knoxville teaching, and Auburn came a calling, and Bruce had been working for H.T. Hackney, but he had still been doing work with ESPN, so he was still around the game, and they came to his house. I was there. They offered him the job, and he took it. And the next day, me, him, and Junior Pearl, Stephen Pearl, we were on the plane heading to Auburn, Alabama. It was a tough year. It was a tough year there for me personally. It was small town. We weren't winning. We were losing. And it was a strain on me and Bruce's relationship because we were losing. Because that had never happened before.
Yeah. Anywhere y'all go, success follows.
Exactly. And I had always had aspirations to become a head coach. And the opportunity came along when my brother, who was the head coach of the Windsor Express in the NBDL, professional league in Canada, he got suspended for a year, and he offered me the head coaching job. And I had interviewed for 2 head coaching jobs during my tenure at Tennessee, at Marshall and at Boston University. And those athletic directors told me, well, we're going to go with someone with some head coaching experience. So that kind of stuck in the back of my mind, especially coming off a tough year at Auburn. And then my brother offering me the job, and we hadn't been together for over 25 years for a year. So that all those things came into play for me to leave Auburn to take my niche to try and coach professionally. And I had some good players. I had Sharon Collins, who won a national championship at Kansas and played with the Charlotte Hornets. I had Tony Bennett, who was a great player at Bradley and had a good overseas career. I had some really good players, and we were going for something unprecedented in the NBL. We were going for a three-peat to win the championship for 3 straight years.
Tough on any level.
And it didn't happen, but I cherished the experience. And it's nothing like being in that first chair, experiencing all the pressure to go out there and win, and preparing your team, and just having those relationships that I have with some of the guys that I coach with the Windsor Express for that year I was there.
Big time, man, big time. So you're able to jump back into college coaching.
After that year at Windsor, I felt that that college coaching was my niche.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the pros don't listen to
Oh,
you.
it's a different world. It's a different
Yeah,
world.
and I got a great affinity. I'm a man of faith, and I believe that God put me on this land, this earth, to help grow and develop young people.
Right.
So I said, you know what, I need to get back in collegiate coaching. So opening came up at Oakland University.
Right.
Longtime coach at Oakland University, Greg Campy. Me and him have been friends for over 20 years. He had an opening. He asked me to join him, and I joined him. And been here for the last 3 years. Has coached some great players. Coach Kendrick Nunn, who finished second in the Rookie of the Year balloting this year. Who's playing with the Miami Heat right now.
Right.
So we've established a good program at Oakland, and I think we're going to have a really good team this year. Hopefully a team that'll contend for the NCAA tournament.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see you guys, man, because I know what you're going to bring to it. And all it takes is a matter of time, man. Matter of time. So let's shift gears, man. I'm putting the heat on you, Tony. I know you got to do it. I know you got to do it. You got to be able to do it. You know what I mean? So I want to talk about, we're at a trying times, you know what I mean, in the world today. But sticking with sports, how difficult is it, you know what I mean, for a guy like yourself, 20 plus years in the game coaching, how difficult is it for guys to get that call to be a head coach? And is it still a buddy system where you got to work 2 times harder than the guy next to you to get to that level?
It's relationships. It's people that you work for,
right?
That may have been assistant or associate athletic directors at places,
right?
Such as Milwaukee, such as Toledo, such as Tennessee. Steve Forbes, very fortunate that John Curry was the associate AD at Tennessee
right.
when we were there, and Steve had success at East Tennessee State, coaching there, and when Curry and Wake Forest needed a coach, he knew Steve,
right?
And that's very fortunate. Yeah. I mean, it's very fortunate for Jason Shea, who's now the head coach at ETSU.
Yep.
One of our former assistant athletic directors is the athletic director at ETSU.
Wow.
So he hired Jason. So, I'm going to keep grinding, Ryan. Yeah. I'm going to keep my nose to the grindstone, keep my nose clean.
Right.
I'm a great believer in fate, and I believe my time is coming. Yeah. I put in my time. I know I'm prepared. The opportunity will be there to be a head coach. I just got to just get into the right situation, but it'll come. But it is difficult because it's only so many of these jobs, and my aspiration is to coach at the Division I level, and it's only so many of these jobs, and it's very competitive, and there's a lot of good coaches out there. I know I'm one of them, and I know one of them will have my name on it in the future.
And I know you are too, and I bring that up, man, because I was. Later on, I'm going to have a forum that I'm going to have you speak on, man. It's called When the Cheering Stops. And it's how you transition from playing back into the reality of the real world, whether it be coaching, whether it be a mechanic, whether it be CEO of a company, whatever it is. Because as athletes, man, very seldom do you run into coaches like yourself that you can pick up the phone and call and you're going to get an answer. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're going to get something real on the other end. Once those 4 years are up, you don't really get to reach out to too many. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
that's exactly right.
Yeah, that's big, man. So I want to know, for that younger kid that's aspiring to be a coach, that's getting ready to come out of school, may have an opportunity to go play overseas or semi-pro or something, but there's an opportunity also for him maybe to get his foot in the door with coaching. How do you weigh that? And how do you make that decision?
I got a number of younger coaches that kind of look up to me a little bit, and I'm kind of mentoring them on some of the pitfalls and some of the things that you must do to put yourself in a position to climb up the ladder. And I tell them it's all about relationships. It's all about going to Final Fours and getting introduced to people. It's all about going to work other people's basketball camps. It's all about when you're out on the road recruiting, just go strike up a conversation with somebody because it's still a network of relationships, and it's not who you know. It's not that anymore.
Right.
It's about who knows you and who likes you.
Right.
It's not who you know, but who knows you and who likes you. And the only way they're going to like you is to have had a conversation with you, for you to articulate your message, for you to articulate your philosophy on the game of basketball, and to help grow and develop these young aspiring leaders of tomorrow, not only on the basketball floor, but in life. And that's our goal. That's our calling, to be able to do that. I don't take it lightly.
Right.
And I'm an advocate of doing things the right way here at Oakland University, to go out and supporting our students, especially during these uncertain times with this pandemic. Haven't had the opportunity to spend a lot of time with our players this year. I mean, the state of Michigan is shut down in March, and I went back to Tennessee for two months, and then I came back. We had summer school, and then the players left to go back, and now they're back. So now it's about establishing a relationship with the players we have now. You know, we have 7 newcomers. And it's all about getting them on the right foot, on the right road academically, and then hopefully for them to follow our lead to be a successful basketball team.
Man, we're in the Boom Boom Room with me, your host, Ron Slay, with our special guest, Tony Jones. A couple more questions to you, and I'm going to let you get on out of here. We'll get out of here before the game come on. We'll be fine, you know what I mean? But I want to know, man, like you alluded to it a little bit, how are these times that we're in, how has that affected recruiting, especially coming into situations now where some schools, like I know in Nashville, the public schools, they're not able to play. I know football isn't right now. Maybe basketball will be postponed and they can pick it up if things clear up by December, January. But how's that with recruiting? How difficult of a job is it to know who you're going to get? You know, and you're missing those seniors that maybe are taking that jump.
Right. Well, the only recruiting we're able to do is via the phone,
right?
Via Zoom, via Skype. I haven't seen a player, a high school student athlete, play since March. I mean, and still the NCAA has us shut down where we can't go out and evaluate players. And so it's been tough. So, you know, it's about starting and continuing relationships that you've already established when those kids were sophomores, when they were juniors, and then on into their senior year. Hopefully, you know, the NCAA will allow us to go out and evaluate student athletes, hopefully in October, November sometime, so we can get out there and see those aspiring collegiate players. But we're able to watch them a little bit in tournaments that states that's having tournaments online, but you really can't get a good evaluation based on watching video of the live event, because sometimes all it is just rec ball.
Right, exactly.
It's not AAU ball, it's not high school ball, it's just rec ball. So hopefully we can get a vaccine in the near future. Hopefully, you know, this pandemic will be a thing of the past, and we can get back to some normalcy. And hopefully we'll have a season this year, and hopefully we'll have an NCAA tournament, which I think is essential to keep the collegiate game going.
Right. So I've been able to, the last 3 years, been able to coach over at Innsworth High School, where Coach Bowers is. I've been under his wing for a second, you know, learning little nuances of the game, and I want to know with you guys, what's the conversation like, knowing that the the climate that we're in with the social injustices. What's the conversation like with your players, and how are they open to the line of communication with you all, and y'all trying to walk them through it, or are they like, man, this is some BS and just ready to go off the handle? What is that like?
No, we're organizing our student athletes, and they want to be organized. I mean, I'm fortunate to be at a place where our president and our athletic director are conscious of some of the racial inequities in our society. They understand police brutality. They understand the judicial inequities that's going on. And I'm a member of a committee at Oakland University where we're going to talk to other members of our program, other teams, volleyball team, soccer team, baseball, and our players are going to do that also. And we're going to talk about some of the tough things to talk about. We're gonna because the only way that we're gonna get past all this social injustice or the inequities and things of that nature is we communicate with each other. We communicate with each other. And the method is, I don't see any form of logic in racism. Obviously, to me, it's an illogical phenomenon, and we want to get that message out to each and every person. And if it just sticks with one person,
that's all you need.
That's of a different background. Then I think we've been successful. But with all the protesting and the things that's happened. Obviously culminating with George Floyd's tragic death in Minneapolis, have brought our whole country to a consciousness of some of the social inequities that's going on, and I think hopefully that we can improve upon those things.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, man. I love to hear that, man, because I think that's huge, man. Being able to open up other doors for people that know where the door is, but don't necessarily want to come to it. You know what I mean? And I think that's big time. Your team going out and knocking on those doors. Couple more things, Tony. Taking Oakland out of it. Taking them out of it. Give me one of your experiences in college that you would never forget. I know you mentioned, going down playing Memphis at that time. That was big. But give me it could date back to high school. It could date back to your playing days. But give me something that stuck with you, whether it was good, whether it was bad, just something that stuck out to you in a game, whatever it was. Could have been a practice, but something that people don't know. I just got a refill from Ramon. Appreciate that, brother. You know what I mean? Thank you, sir. we getting our level in the boom boom room. We don't know what y'all doing, viewers, but we getting our level. You know what I mean? So give me some.
After I finish here, I'm a grill. Like you said, you were grilling out over.
Yeah, I'm on the grill right now. Yeah,
grill me some hamburgers and hot dogs.
Yes, sir.
And watch this LA Lakers Houston Rockets game.
Yes, sir.
The thing, obviously, we talked about the 1 versus 2 game against Memphis. The first time that our team that I was associated with went to the NCAA tournament, and that was in 2003 when Clay Tucker took us to the NCAA tournament. We beat a Butler team that had been nationally ranked during the year, and we won it on our home court, US Cellular Arena, formerly the Mecca, where the Milwaukee Bucks used to play.
Yes.
We beat them handily, and it was 10,000 people there. And after the game was over with, students rushed the floor. And me and a couple of the assistant coaches and Bruce, we all hugged together and said, we got UWM to their first NCAA tournament in school history. That probably is the highest that I've probably ever been coaching the game of basketball.
That's big, man. And you got people joining in. Portia said, "Hey, Coach." Miss Janet said, "What's up, T. Jones?"
Miss Janet, Miss Janet, they're my girls.
Yes, sir.
J&J, Janice and Janet.
J&J, baby, ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it. Let me ask you this: for the Tennessee viewers or fans that may be listening, what was that experience like walking in there and changing the culture, in a sense, of the basketball atmosphere? You know, football was where it was, Lady Vols was where it was, and thriving in both areas. What was it like for you to catch up?
It was special. It was special to Ron, and you know this because you were there, to have a relationship and have a friendship with Pat Summitt.
Right.
It was just unbelievable.
Right.
You know, I went over her house a number of times. You know, we had our teams together when we had official visits. We had them over her house. We talked together,
right?
And she kept it real, and she was number one, and to still have a relationship with Coach Former. I talked to him about a month and a half ago. Had him make a call for my daughter to help get her promotion, and she got it.
Yeah, big time.
So it's special, and I still call. You know, I'm working here up in Michigan, but I still call Knoxville, Tennessee my home. My daughters are there. My grandchildren are there.
Right.
It's a special place.
Yeah.
I'm involved for life.
That is.
When I go there, Tony Basilio, I'm on his show. I'm on the Sports Animal when I go there.
Yeah.
And when I go out to eat out in the community, everybody still recognizes me and still say, "Hey, I wish you were still here."
I know it.
And I can't think of a greater tribute to myself of Knoxville, Tennessee, that at Applebee's on Cedar Bluff, they have what we call Tony wings.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about, man. Everlasting impact. Mercedes, your daughter just chimed in and said, Spencer said, "Where's Granddad at?" So, hey, listen, Mercedes, I'm gonna answer that for you. You're in the boom boom room right now. Tell Spencer he can't come in here. We'll open up the door in a minute. We're gonna let him get with Granddad in a second. Hey, man, but I appreciate your time, Tony, man. If it's anything you can leave us with, man, I really appreciate it. I know for sure we'll have parents, kids watching, athletes, former athletes watching. But one thing I want to know is you as a coach, because this is a different generation and they practice on different things. And I try to stress this to our high school kids all the time, man. It's not the jelly fam that coaches are coming in there looking for. It's not the guys that's after practice throwing it up, dunking. You walking in, what jumps off the screen to you? Like you said, there's no way you can watch these streams and highlights to know what you're trying to get in a player. But what are you looking for when you walk in the gym? Without giving too much game away.
Obviously, he has to be talented.
Right.
And they wouldn't be there. I wouldn't be there watching them if they weren't. But what's the separator, Ryan? Because there's a number of good players. What's the separator? And the separator is to go out there and compete each and every second you're out there on the floor. To go out there and play with a high level of intensity and a high level of basketball IQ, knowing what to do at any particular moment, and to be very coachable. We watch you when you're on the side after the coach is taking you out. What's your demeanor? What's the body language? Body language isn't silent. It screams out at you. Look at me. Look at me. But if you're out there cheering on your teammates, when you're out there and sitting on the bench, that's something that we look at. And, you know, if I had anything to tell a young student athlete right now, I would tell them it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared for it. To always trying to develop your skills. And lastly, don't go where the path may lead. Go where there's no path and leave a trail. Let somebody follow you.
Talk that. That's beautiful, man. And I got one more thing for you, Tony. I promise I'm gonna let you go, because I dealt with this. You know what I mean? I think this is an important thing. I know how it looks for parents. Like, I don't know. I've never asked a coach this before, but what kind of impact does that have on recruiting? And I say that as you come into the game and it's the parent. He's on the floor screaming at the coach, "Hey man, you crazy? Put my son in the game." This, that, and the other. Like, I remember, and it's different. It's different tiers to it. My mom was the, in the stands cheering. Like, she grew up around sports all the time.
Right.
In the stands cheering, with getting on the referees, and the talks. Ron, you got to do this, do that, and the other. But I was able to tune that out. You know what I mean? And by the time I got to be a sophomore or junior, I was able to tell my mom, "Hey man, be cool. I got it. I promise you, I got it. Like, talk to me after the game." You know what I mean? Because I don't want these coaches to come in and see you being loud and that try to, that the tears away from them offering me a scholarship. How important is that family dynamic? Of course, you're gonna have some people that not have that sturdy background like a lot of us have. Some people come from single parent households. The eighth or ninth kid in the family. What advice do you give to those parents that are at the games, especially AAU games?
We call them as coaches significant others,
Right, there you go.
And whether it's the mom or the dad or the brother or the uncle,
Yeah, especially uncle,
or his best buddy,
right?
or his AAU coach.
Yeah,
they are singly focused.
Mm-hmm.
They're singly focused on their child,
right?
And that's all well and good,
right?
But as a coach, we have the group to look out for.
Mm-hmm.
We have in our situation, we have 13 scholarships. We have 13 people that we have to look out for. So if I could say anything to those significant others, moms, dads. Mm-hmm. Stay in your lane.
Right. We got
Stay
this.
In your lane. We're gonna do what's best for the team. Mm-hmm. Our creed, a doctor's creed is to save lives.
Right.
Policeman's creed is to protect and serve.
Right.
Our creed is to be fair.
Right.
That's the only thing we can be, is fair.
Right.
And we're gonna go out and we're gonna have everybody go out there and compete. And then collectively, as a coaching staff, we're going to get together and play the people that we think put us in the best position to win. Right. So stay in your lane and be kind to coaches.
Yes.
Because we understand that you love your child. I love my child.
Right.
When he played, I loved him.
Right.
But I never said anything to his coach, and I never will. If you want to call us and ask him how he's doing academically and how he's doing socially, and we can have that conversation.
Exactly. I appreciate that to you, man. Listen, this conversation can go on and on, but I'm gonna spare you today, man. I'm gonna let you on off, let you go grill, let you get to it, man, and we'll be in touch, man. I appreciate the time, Tony, man. Salute to you and everything that you're doing, brother.
No problem. Thanks for having me, Ron. You have a lovely mother. You have a lovely family.
No doubt.
You're a great person, and you're doing a great job with this Boom Boom Room.
Appreciate it.
And nothing but success to you and yours, buddy.
And send me the address, Tony, and I'm gonna get you the shirt out, baby. I need you. I need you to post it. All right. I appreciate it, bro.
Take care, guys.
Yes, sir. Man, that was Tony Jones, people. That was Tony Jones, man, our special guest today. Great having him on, man. I hope you got something out of it. This is the Boom Boom Room. I'm your host, Ron Slade. Let me wrap this thing up the way it's supposed to be wrapped up. What we got. Appreciate everybody listening. You know what I mean? If you can, go. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. The old posts, the old interviews that you didn't get to see, they are on there. Shane Foster's will be downloaded this week. Coach Tony Jones, his will be downloaded this week. So you can go on there and relive the interview and listen to it, what you might have missed. Go, subscribe, like, comment, tag a friend, do whatever you got to do. Let's get the views up, people. So there it is. Go to YouTube. Search Ron Slay and click the subscribe button to follow. We got the website coming soon, ronslay.com. Be looking out for it. We got the t-shirts on deck. They on deck, you know what I mean? $35 a pop, hit me in the DM. You ain't got to. You know, I'm just, if you part of the movement and you supporting the brand, mess with me, rock with me, you know what I mean? And we going to get it done like that. Also, I always got to plug my guy, man. Y'all go follow him. My man, Dokes, and the kid's Dokes, 1308_forever on Instagram. DM him. The man got everything you need. Guide and inspire vibrating energy. You got your smoothies, you got your juices, got meal replacements. Holla at him, man. He can plug you in, get you set up for 5 to 6 days, and it's very, very, very well fulfilling. I promise you. And so reach out to that. What's the last thing? Last thing, man. Sleigh ride. Don't forget. The Journey of a Legend. You know what I mean? The book is locked and loaded. Just waiting on the time to release it. You know what I mean? A good time where we can get out and do the tour. You know what I mean? Do some autograph signings, do some sellings. And it's on the way, man. It's on the way, people. I appreciate everything. You know what I mean? That all the love you guys are showing, especially the people that's going out there getting the shirts, man. I'm pulling up on you. If I'm not pulling up on you, the USPS will pull up on you. You know what I'm saying? So just hit me in the DM, Ron Slay 35, the Boom Boom Room 35. Follow that page. I'm transferring all the energy from the Boom Boom Room to that page. One thing I want to let you guys know, the parents that are listening and watching. That's why I asked them. That was a former head coach and still an assistant coach in Division I basketball, 20 plus years. Man, one thing for sure, you always, your parents are going to look out for your best benefit. Regardless, if you win or lose, they always going to say, what did you do? How did my baby do? This, that, and the other. Coaches are looking to have the team be successful. That's the coach's job. So take that in heed, man, parents, and don't be so hard on your coaches out there, especially through this pandemic, man. I appreciate y'all joining. This it. It's the Boom Boom Room, and we're in a different area today, though. But you see it back there. The love is still there. You know what I mean? Shout out to Ramon Foster, man, for letting us use the man cave live from the cave. That'll be back soon. You know what I mean? I know y'all missed that too. Don't worry. We'll be back soon with that. But this is the Boom Boom Room. I'm your host, special guest Tony Jones. Salute to you. Salute to your daughters and family that was watching. Salute to all the viewers. Stay tuned, man. We got bigger and better things coming out. So next week, Jonathan Harkin.